Hello, lords and ladies. Welcome back to Cartoon Hangout, your place for all things cartoon. Can I just say how amazing it is that we've gotten Samurai Jack back? The show was a huge part of my childhood, and I remember watching every new episode with my mom and sister. It's distinct in being one of a few more modern shows that my mother has actually loved. She even once said Jack was handsome. Watching this episode felt like I was literally transported back to my childhood in a way I don't think I've ever experienced with any other revival. In that way, I think other networks and writers should take notes. This is how you do it. What I mean is, it felt like the show was never gone for the decade that it was. It just felt like a week had passed between the season 4 finale and this episode. So seamless was this episode. The story picks up 50 years after the season 4 finale, a decision I was initially hesitant about. It offers some more depressing turn of events for our friend Jack, but I think it helps a little with offering something more standalone, but ultimately still somewhat in tune with the previous seasons. I'm sure that can also be inviting to new fans. We jump back into the future of Aku with a Jack who is more disillusioned and haunted by his past. Quite literally, in fact, as throughout the episode, various people, mostly his mother and father, appear to cry out and blame him for forsaking them. It's a grim but largely striking way of presenting us Jack's mental state, as he has not been able to age in the 50 years that have passed. It's hard to imagine what that would do to a man, but this episode definitely offers up some of its own interpretations for what that would look like with scenes like this. Gone is the clean-shaven Jack, and in his place is a samurai without a purpose. His sword is lost, he's replaced his clothes with armor and a gun, and he seems to shy away from conflict. Or at least that's what I get from the episode, even though it technically opens with him assisting some adorable creatures who seem to communicate with their antenna. It's an insanely cool dialogue light opening that immediately gives us what Samurai Jack is partially known for: incredible action and cinematic visuals. No other cartoon in this era can boast what Samurai Jack has. You almost feel like you're watching something out of a movie, the way the camera pans in, reducing all but a brief square to blackness, subsequently drawing your eye to what the animators want you to focus on. Scenes like this are presented throughout the first episode of the season, and it really adds a level of uniqueness you, again, wouldn't expect from most of the recent shows that litter the networks. Besides showing us Jack and his life 50 years later, we also get several peeks into the daughters of Aku, 7 young women trained from birth to hunt and kill Jack. I'm really intrigued by how much focus is placed on these women, especially this one here. I can't make out her name in the episode, unfortunately, so you have to clue me in on it. Clearly, she has more importance, as much of the flashbacks focus on her training than the others. I'm expecting to see a lot of growth from her in the remaining episodes, unless she just dies in the next episode. I also just find it fascinating that these girls are constantly brought up to kill Jack in the 50 years since he's still been alive. Although, what I'm hearing online is that this is the first time, but in the episode it felt like there had been a previous generation. So I'm not too sure on the details there. Also, apparently, this parallels Jack's upbringing, where he was taken away from his homeland and trained in order to kill Aku. And these girls are having that same upbringing, but in order to kill Jack. So it's like this really cool parallelism right there. Speaking of Aku, he doesn't make an appearance in this episode outside of a statue and as a voice on the other end of a phone. I'm curious as to why that is. Perhaps to build up to his appearance. Whatever the reason, I would like to stop and take time to pay respects to his original voice actor, Mako, who made this character so much more than I think any other actor could have. He helped bring Aku to life, and it's sad to know he was not able to take part in this revival. Let's hope that Mark Baldwin can do him justice. Moving on, we got the introduction of a new, albeit brief, robot foe for Jack to overcome. Styled after Sammy Davis Jr. and named for an Italian comedy clown character, Scaramouche is largely similar to another baddie from previous seasons, but makes up for that with his ability to control various objects and weapons with either his flute or his voice. I really like the challenge he presented Jack with, and how the villain was treated to a resounding defeat, much like the stock character he's based on. Plus, Tom Kenny, who I think is the voice of SpongeBob, does a really bang-up job here. What was more interesting was Jack taking one of the robot's weapons, almost like a souvenir of sorts, or a spoil of war. I'll be interested in seeing if this is a recurring theme with Jack, taking more and more off his defeated foes, later utilizing them against newer foes, almost like a deadly version of Mega Man. Either way, this definitely shows us how much different Jack is now. He's no longer really a man of honor, or at least he's willing to be more like Aku than previously. How low will we see Jack descend in this final season of the show? I can't wait to see. Jack is back, and it's truly a blast from the past. Season 5, if it keeps up the pace of this episode, is bound to be one of the most talked about cartoons this year. It's unlike anything else out at the moment. It's on Adult Swim, so it can lean even heavier into mature content than even the original did, and it looks and sounds so much like the original show, you'll at first think you're a kid again. If you haven't already checked this show out, I implore you to do so. It'll easily be your favorite cartoon of the year if you're anything like me or the others who are hyped for our man Jack. Now it's your turn to share your comments on the episode down below. What did you make of it? Let me know. Before you click away, make sure to subscribe to Cartoon Hangout for all your cartoon and cartoon-related needs. Thanks for watching, and take care.